deadly riots over the government's plan to avoid defaulting on its loans.
Is that the unemployment keeps rising, and it has to keep rising just because we have an excess supply of goods, which is
this is all borrowed money that our kids.
And that debt is owned by banks in other countries. Spilling over wires.
M-O-N-E-Y, in the form of a convenient personal filter cigarette that delivers the taste, and I 45 malt liquor.
Are you hot?
Planning to bomb Iran.
Terror attacks in Iran. And there's arms.
Modern psychology has a word that is probably used more than any other word in psychology. It is the word maladjusted. Maladjusted. I would like to say to you today that there are some things in our society and some things in our world for which I'm proud to be maladjusted. And I call upon all men of goodwill to be maladjusted to these things until the good society is realized.
You know, economists are in fact not economists at all. They're propagandists of money value. This system is more wasteful than all the other existing systems in the history of the planet. So you're really dealing with not an economic system, but I would go so far as to say an anti-economic system. The problem we have is essentially the financial money sequence system. It's a system disorder, and the system disorder seems to be fatal.
There is no profit under the current paradigm in saving lives, putting balance on this planet, having justice and peace or anything else.
Disease supports medicine. It supports doctors and hospitals. But if you really were able to eliminate most diseases, you would eliminate professions as well.
You have to create problems to create profit. Crime does create business. We have now roughly 2 million people incarcerated in this country. Many of them are in prisons run by private corporations who trade their stock on Wall Street based upon how many people are in jail. But that's a reflection of the culture in which we live, in which we've all, to one degree or another, endorsed.
I think the biggest barrier would be the values that people are taught to uphold that system.
At the social level of life organization, it isn't a genetic program or a genetic defect. It's a value system disorder.
What you have to understand is that the intellectual culture of a society actually reflects the power interests in that society, the dominant perspective.
In the past, throughout almost all of human history, the main threat to human survival was nature. Today, it is culture. Not only does structural violence kill more people than all the behavioral violence put together, structural violence is also the main cause of behavioral violence.
Some colleagues at Harvard studying this suggested that inequality acted as a social pollutant because it affects almost everyone in society.
The immune system cannot recognize the invasive cancer, and it takes over the whole body until the body collapses. And we're in that spasming, collapsing form now.
So the system has to be corrected, not print more money and give it to banks. That doesn't deal with the problem.
Every level of life organization and life system is in a state of crisis and challenge and decay or collapse.
The problems that we have today will continue to go on. This will never go away within a monetary system.
It's clear that we're on the verge of a great transition in human life.
That what we face now is this fundamental change of the life we've known over the last century.
There has to be a link between the economy and the resources of this planet, the resources being, of course, all animal and plant life, the health of the oceans and everything else. This is a monetary paradigm that will not let go until it's killed the last human being.
The in-group will do all it can to stay in power. And that's what you got to keep in mind. They'll use the Army and Navy and lies or whatever they have to use to keep in power. They're not about to give it up because they don't know of any other system that will perpetuate their kind.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just now joining us, you're watching Zeitgeist Live. What we got now is the nice round table discussion. And especially, we got Lorenzo in the house. Mr. Kill Money himself.
Yeah, Kill Money.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, man.
Kill Money.
Kill Money is really inspiring, man. He lives in New York. You live in New York City, right?
New York City, born and bred, in the Bronx, New York.
And you've been on this tip for what, since
the first film came out.
Since the first film came out, right? Lorenzo was also in the creation of the movie, My Zeitgeist Moving Forward, correct?
Yeah, I had a couple of little pieces in there, you know, anything I could do to pitch in, help the movement out.
Yeah, man. I was envious. I was watching I was looking at your photos on Facebook, going, man, I wish I could have been a part of it.
It really was a blast. I mean, I'm telling you, you get to meet all these folks, get to meet PJ and all this stuff, and see that, hey, they're real people, just like us.
Yeah. I mean, I know what you mean by they're real people. Speaking of Peter Joseph specifically, because after the first film, I was so like that movie just blew me open. I was like,
it changes your life.
It changed my life.
Yeah.
It really did. The first film changed my life, and I just want to know who this dude was. Where did he get these balls? Like to put together such a good film, and where'd he come from? He just came out of nowhere,
Right on.
And so I know that when I met him, I just want to know, who are you? Where'd you come from? And so I know what you're saying, and I still have him up on a pedestal, but I know if you just got to hang out and kick it, you'd see that he's a real dude just like us,
Just like us, you get to meet this guy and he's cracking jokes, and you're like, hey, wait a minute, aren't we all supposed to be all serious here? No, this guy, just like us, cracking jokes, telling people, hey, just have fun with it. This isn't all, it just has to be serious. We're trying to really live in a world where we can smile all day.
Right. Yeah.
You told us a story earlier this afternoon about a question that you had for PJ. Can you just share that story with us again? It was really good. You had a question.
It was
just one.
It was just one of those. I said, hey, PJ, I told myself coming into the filming that I'd only save one question for you, and I said, well, what gave you the balls to put this out there? And really, he broke down for me how this really came and this evolved from him just wanting to express himself over what he saw going on in the world, and really building a stage for all of us to really come forward and say, hey, we can put something out there too.
Yeah, the creative outlet, essentially.
Very much so.
He's a musician, and he just wanted to put what was passionate to him. After 9/11, it changed everyone in New York City. Fundamentally, they're just completely different people now, and I think that was the catalyst. I really think that kind of put forth a lot of different ideas in people's heads.
Lorenzo, so tell us what's going on with the New York City chapter.
New York City, very busy, growing every day. I mean, we're almost reaching about 300 members on our list.
Wow.
We've got our coordinators in place. We've got our state coordinators in place. It's actually moving up. The website is up, ZNYC. Google it, Zeitgeist New York will come up, and really got some good coordinators taking control of the place and helping us evolve.
Cool, man. And how do you guys? What's your activity level at? Like, do you guys, when you guys get together, do y'all have like mixers, or do y'all have like strategy meetings?
We'll have we'll have the potluck, we'll have the social gatherings, we'll have a little bit of activism, do some days of street chalking, some days of DVD handouts. Try to meet at least in person every 2 weeks, just touch base, give everybody a chance to, connect the face with the voice. We're always on TeamSpeak and doing this stuff on the net. So, every now and then it's good to, connect.
Yeah.
But it's really, it's coming along.
Yeah, for real, man.